It's the weekend and you have financial questions that need answering. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. This is the program that takes the mystery out of your financial life. Let's get started by taking the mystery out of Rachel's financial life. She joins us from Southern California. All right, Rachel, what brings you to us? What's going on, girl?
So I think I always err on the anxious side when it comes to finances. And I wanted to understand whether I have enough for retirement and also whether I can possibly retire early.
Okay.
I have a pretty high net worth, but most of it is tied up in the value of my home, which is subject to whatever the economic conditions are and market value. So it doesn't really give me confidence in how, I don't know how to consider that.
Right, because of course you have to live somewhere also.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other side is if I do decide to retire early, I don't know what that looks like in terms of unexpected expenses for health or even just me taking care of my aging parents.
Oh, there's aging parents in the mix.
Yeah, so
okay. Let's back up. I'm hearing anxiety. So when you say you err on the anxious side, I'm just going to say, let's take a breath and let's unpeel this. Okay? Let's start very simply. So Rachel, how much do you earn right now?
So I earn $120,000 a year.
Okay. And are you single, partnered, married?
I am single.
Okay. Any kids?
No kids.
Okay. And on that $120,000 a year, do you make retirement contributions?
Yes. I put in about 8% per month, and then there's a 5% match.
Okay. That's great. And is it a traditional or a Roth?
So I put it into a traditional, and then I've been maxing out my Roth. But I was a bit of a late bloomer, so I only started last year and this year.
So you're in your corporate plan, in your current plan, how much money's in there?
So I just started at this company, so not too much, about $8,500, but I rolled over all my previous ones into a new account, and that's $165,000.
That's great. And that's all traditional, right?
Correct.
And what about the Roth? How much is in the Roth?
The Roth is $70,000.
Great. And do you also have a brokerage account? Do you have a fund money account? Anything like that?
Yes. So I have a brokerage account. That's $43,000.
Savings, kind of money in the bank, emergency, anything there?
Yep. So savings is about $130,000.
Okay, that's great. You got huge numbers. How old are you?
I'm 34.
Oh my God, you're so young. Fabulous. Any other assets that we'll get to the house in a second. So you've got the current, you've got the rollover, the Roth, the brokerage, savings. Anything else? Crypto, rental property, anything else that's out there?
So my home is also a rental property.
Okay, so let's talk about the home. So first of all, how much is this house worth?
So it's worth about $1.1 million right now.
Okay, and it's a two-family?
It's a townhouse.
Okay, and you are charging someone rent for some portion of this?
Yes.
What is the rent that you're charging?
So I receive about $3,250 a month in rent.
Okay. Do you feel like that's something that's working for you? Do you like having this extra money coming in? Do you feel like, I don't want to have someone in my space? What do you feel like?
Yeah, so I like the money that's coming in. I don't like that I need to continue renting it out to afford the home.
Right.
To comfortably afford the home. But that's also the only realistic way to kind of do this in California, in my opinion.
Okay. The mortgage. You have a mortgage outstanding?
Yes.
How much is outstanding on this $1.1 million house?
So about $550,000.
And what's the interest rate?
2.75%.
30-year.
Yes.
So if you didn't rent, if we said you don't need to rent anymore, you would stay where you are, yes? Do you like it? In other words, if I just said, here's $1 million in your lap, stop renting, would you stay in this place?
No. So one of the ideas I had originally when I bought this house was for this to be an investment property, and for me to buy another home later on as my more like forever home.
Okay.
But yeah, with how much housing prices have increased, I don't know how realistic that is anymore.
Okay. You said that your parents are still alive. How old are they?
They're in their late 60s.
Are they still working or are they retired?
They're retired.
How are they supporting themselves?
So far they seem to be okay,
Mm-hmm.
but they weren't the highest earners. We haven't really talked about who would take care of them or anything, but I've just
Don't you have a sibling who lives near them so we can pawn that person off on them or not?
I do have a sibling. I don't know if that's really realistic. I want to take that responsibility from
Okay,
him.
so because you're being a good girl, because this is what happens. It all falls on the daughter. Thankfully, I have a sister, so I say, I'm so sorry it has fallen on you. I'm the black sheep, and I have to get something out of that. So you are living it seems like, oh, I'm in this $1 million house, but you get rent. And so let me ask you, what is the cost? Forget about the rent for 1 second. What are your expenses looking like right now?
If I did not receive rental income,
Yes.
okay, so I think that would be more like 6,000 a month.
Okay. So obviously the rental income defrays a chunk of that, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, is there anything else in your financial life that we need to know about for now? Like you're happily employed, but you're sort of like, well, maybe I want to retire early. When you say early, what does that mean to you?
I don't know, actually.
Ah,
Before 65, I wanted to have a number in mind or an age in mind,
okay. Like, do you
but
want to be prepared, be able to say, I'm done at 55 or be able to do something else?
yeah, I think my post-retirement plan would just be to not work
Mm-hmm.
and kind of travel around. Yeah, not have to work, I would say.
Okay. And you think and that the age, just 55, 20 more years sound about right? Or does that sound horrible to you? Do you hate your
That's
job?
okay. Yeah, that's okay for me. Yeah.
Okay. So 55 is what we're shooting for. Mark, it's like you keep saying 10 more years,
That's it.
10 years.
Could be less. Who knows?
That's right. Now, there's no pension. You have nothing else that we need to factor into this, right?
Correct.
Okay. Do your parents also live in a high cost of living area?
They do, however, they've already paid off their house.
Is there any thought that, you would, when you talk about worrying about them, is there any thought about maybe all of you living together? Or do you hate your mother? I'm just kidding. You don't have to say that.
I don't hate I don't hate them, but it would be a challenge to live together.
Oh my God, I crack myself up sometimes. Okay. So I'm trying to think about how to really parse this.
You don't like? Is it an issue with the tenant or just being a landlord in general?
I don't enjoy being a landlord, and I think roommate problems are
Horrific.
more challenging when you actually own the property and see what you have to fix if they break it.
Yeah, no kidding. But I mean, you got $500,000 of equity in this thing, but you got to live somewhere. Are you close to work? Do you need to work from home or do you need to work in a physical space?
I can work from home.
We'll get back to Rachel in just a minute. You're listening to Jill on Money.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. This is the program that is trying to help you navigate your financial future. If you've got an issue that is bubbling up, whether it's big, small, whether you're old, whether you're young, whether you have a lot of money or a little money, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and write us a note. If you would like to join us live, just check the box. Mark will do everything else. And while you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It comes out every single Friday. A great tune-up for this program. Right now, let's get back with Rachel from Southern California. So if you were to sell this place just for fun, and you had $500,000 of equity, would you be able to find something smaller, more convenient, like that? Is there a place? What would the number be for us to put you in a place that is you would like to live in, where you wouldn't have to have either it's a townhouse, it's a condo, it's an apartment, it's a small home? What would the cost of that be, even in your high cost of living state? Do you have an idea?
At this point, it would probably be something that's like 700 or 800 a month, or 800,000,
Okay,
just
so
because of the high interest rate. But I would
yeah,
have, yeah, there's a little bit of discomfort there because I'd have to downsize.
right. So
Where
what you really want is you want to collect this rent for however long you need to collect this rent, and
Mhm,
then be done with it, and maybe just stay where you are for the time being.
mhm.
Then ultimately maybe sell it and move someplace else and become your nomadic grifter life where you hang out with friends all over the world, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I like see how I added grifter to you. She's got friends all over the world and she's flying coach. Okay. So if I look at this right now, you're a very good saver. You really are. So you're putting away 8% into your current plan, plus you're maxing out your Roth. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have an idea about how much you are actually saving at this point into just like the brokerage and you have a bunch of savings. So I'm just wondering what it is you think that you're saving on a monthly or annual basis.
Yep. So when I receive rental income, I
Mhm.
save about 3,000 to 4,000 a month.
Wow.
Nice. It's nice. It's hard to walk away
Wow.
from that.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She saves $3,000 to $4,000 a month. Okay. That's on top of your retirement contribution, right?
Yep.
Okay. So if you look at that, Mark, if we just think about this, hold on a second. She's sending 9,600 plus 7,000 in the Roth plus let's call it 30, let's say call it 40,000. So she's saving on her 120 grand a year. She's saving about $56,000 a year. Okay? That's retirement contributions plus extra. So what we know is that she's putting. Let's look at this. If you decided to, if you didn't have this home, okay, and we know that you just don't spend a lot of money, but right now within a $6,000 a month expense level, what does it take to create a cash flow that is spitting out $6,000 a month in today's dollars? So if I were looking at let's just pretend this was, we rolled the clock forward. Okay. It's 20 years from now. And we're just going to use it all today's dollars, right? So you need $72,000 a year. And I'm not going to include your Social Security yet, because first of all, you're such a freak. You're going to think that Social Security won't exist for you. So I get that. So I'll just pretend it doesn't exist for a second, because I already got your psychographic right now. Okay.
Mhm.
So you need a few $1,000,000 that is built up. Like, let's call it, if you had $3 million free and clear, are you a risky person? Do you feel like you can take risks? Do you feel like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm generally risk averse, which is why I have so much in savings. I'm
Yep.
trying to adjust that and move more into the brokerage account.
Okay, but let's just say, like, if I had $3 million in an account right now, that
Mhm.
could create 90 grand a year in gross income, which would provide you with your 6 grand a month, no sweat. Okay. So I think you're going to actually have $3 million pretty quickly. And I think my guess is this. Again, I'm not running a super duper plan for you right now. I'm going to guess that for 10 years, you want to capture this extra $3,000 to $4,000 a month in order to have a 55-year-old choice to make. Because it's ambitious to say, I'm never going to work again at age 55. And I think that if you said to me, oh, I love what I do, I can work till I'm 65, then I might say, then, so don't sweat it. Like, rent for 3 or 4 5 more years, like rent for 5 more years, collect that money, kick the renter out, and just keep paying down your mortgage, and you'll be fine. And your income should be able to absorb all of this. And we can pull back a little bit on the retirement contribution. So be it. I don't think this is actually a problem. Like, you are in such good financial shape. I think the problem is that you've established a life that is sort of complicated because of the renters. So, Mark, what do you think about her working for, using the rental income for 10 years? Then she's 45, and then for 10 years, she has no rental income, but she's got all the other money going out. What do you think about that as a game plan to get her to 55 and have some choices?
For sure, it works. The number wise, it works. I just don't know if she can continue to be a landlord for another 10 years.
What do you think? Like, Rachel, do you feel like I can't stand this? It's horrible?
It's not ideal. I do have I was able to make a conversion to one of the rooms. So it's not connected to the rest of the house. So that is also an option.
Oh, wait a minute. Say that again. In other words, you can do some construction to make it a little more private?
Yes.
And how much will that cost?
It's already done.
Oh.
But the rental income from that would be about $16.25 a month.
Wait a minute. What's the difference between the $32.50 and the six? Are you saying another $16.25?
No, sorry. So
sounds like it would be a smaller unit that she would rent out.
Yeah.
To give her more privacy, more separation.
All right. So let's try this out at $16.25 a month then.
Okay, yeah, instead of the $32.50.
Yeah, and skip, and don't worry about that.
And maybe she can rent longer under those circumstances.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
And that's something that I feel comfortable with because I still get my private space. For some reason, if I don't see the issues that are happening, then it doesn't feel like that.
Dude, I am all over this. I had some visitors to my house recently, and I'm watching them eat at the table, and I'm like, well, don't drop that on my beautiful chair. Like, I can watch the food drop out of their mouths, hit the chair. And I am freaking out inside, Rachel. I can't even tell you. I'm looking at my wife and she's giving me the eye like, look at these slobs that are in our house. They're like like chewing with their mouth open, and down goes a hamburger on my gorgeous new chair. I'm like, what? What's going on?
Now I know why you don't have kids.
Exactly. I mean, I told you this is the problem. Like, because I like Rachel. If I don't see it, I'm fine.
But I was gonna say, this is like a whole other part of the equation with Rachel. I mean, you're so young, things may change as well. You 10 years from now, you may be married with 2 kids.
Oh my God, Rachel, is that going to happen? Because we'll redo the plan. Mark never thought he'd be in this place when he was 45. It's true.
Yeah.
It's so true, right?
So there's another wrench I want to throw at you.
Oh my God, are you getting married?
No, but I think freezing my eggs is on the table.
All right, definitely do it. 10 grand.
That's a high expense. It's more like 30 grand.
All right, 30 grand. 30 grand, freeze the eggs. Don't even look back. That's silly. You've got 130 grand in savings. Spend 30 grand and freeze your eggs right now. Do it tomorrow.
Okay, and it wouldn't affect my retirement or anything like that?
No. First of all, let's see what happens. You got to freeze the egg, then you got to actually have a kid.
Okay, that's true.
Right? Let's do one thing at a time. We'll conclude with Rachel in just a minute. If you've got a financial question, just go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and write us a note. You're listening to Jill on Money.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show. We are here answering your financial questions. If you have one, just go to the website, JillOnMoney.com, which I'm sure you've bookmarked by now, and click the Contact Us button. If you'd like to join us live on the program, check the box. Mark will do everything else. And the reason we encourage you to come on live with us is that we can ask a lot of follow-up questions. It does kind of lend itself to that relationship back and forth, right? So don't worry. We can change your name if you'd like. We can anonymize you. Come on the program. It's a lot of fun. And to that end, let's get back to Rachel from Southern California. I need you to also give yourself some grace. You said
Okay.
I err on the anxious side. You're in a great situation. You make money, you don't spend a lot of money. You bought your townhouse at the right price, your mortgage is low, you've got some rental income. You don't have to feel like I feel you come on the air and it almost sounds like you feel like you're boxed in. You're not. You are not. Okay. You're going to have a lot of options. I don't even know what's going to happen next, but all I know is that if you create an environment where you can keep collecting that rent, it will give you a basis to sort of feel a little bit like, oh, okay, I know I make 120 grand a year. I normally would not be able to live in $1 million place, but you can. Okay. Keep putting your money away into the Roth, into the retirement account, do your thing, add to your brokerage. Even if it's not 3 or 4 grand a month, let's say it's just 1,500 a month. That's fine. Just keep pace with that. And then as things change, let's revisit it. Like you would be very well served if you decide to have a kid. What would be very helpful would be to sit down with a fee-only financial planner to sketch this out with you so that you could revisit that plan every year. It doesn't have to happen right this second, but I think you would be somebody who could really benefit from that. Because I think when you're when you're really young and you have a working plan, that's so great because then you can go back and you can, let me change this, let me change that. What would happen if I did this? That's when a plan can really help mold some of your decisions.
Okay.
So and by the way, I can already sense, because you're kind of a numbers person, that I think that you would also feel more confident if you had these numbers etched in stone someplace that at least you could go back and revisit them.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Mark?
No, I mean,
Rachel's good?
Oh, I know she's good. You know she's good. I know she's good. I think everybody listening knows she's good. The problem is convincing her that she's good. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're so young. You already have a nice chunk of money. You're saving money. You have a great piece of real estate. You have a lot of equity. It's going to continue to increase. You have rental income.
Come on, Rachel. Feel good about this. Let yourself feel good.
And yeah, I guess it's true.
No, I can't.
I can't.
Okay.
It's
I know it's in your DNA. It's okay.
Is there a way for me to simplify this, or is this like it's already good? Don't worry about it.
What are you trying to simplify?
Stress.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think there's a great therapist probably in your future. No, I think that if you want to feel good about, you may want to actually talk to a financial planner to really work with you on this. But I don't think they're going to tell you anything much different. I think what you need to do is, how about this? Let's make a pinky swear.
Okay. You're
going to give yourself a little bit of breathing room. So here's what you should do. You should spend 30 grand and freeze your eggs. That's number one. Number two, you're going to cut your rent in half, the rental income in half. And that's going to be fine. Do not freak out about that. Live with that for 1 year. And then come back and talk to us in 1 year exactly. And then let's go have a conversation again.
Okay.
When you started this and you said, I don't want to count on the equity in my home. Here's what I don't think is going to happen. I don't think your home, the value of your home is going to get cut in half. I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I don't think that the equity is going to go away. I think that what is going to happen is, it may not grow as fast as it has, but you'll have this house and you'll decide when you think it's time to move on to someplace else. And it may be where you are, maybe someplace different, but who knows? But for today, I want 1 year where you're collecting less rent, you're putting a little bit less money away every month. Maybe it's, as I said, $1,500 a month into the brokerage account. Build that up. Enjoy your life. Take care of your parents. Don't go look for a problem either. If your parents seem to be okay, you can check in with them and say, oh, I talked to a financial planner recently and you guys feel okay? Do you want to talk to somebody? Doesn't have to be you. Mm-hmm. Offer that to them. That's like a level of anxiety. It's living, I think, beneath the surface for you. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to take that on. If they're in their late 60s and they are retired and you want to check in, or maybe it's your sibling who lives near them can check in. You guys can talk about it a little bit. Like, you think they're really okay? Should we have a conversation with them? Maybe bring it up as part of an estate planning conversation. Like, hey, you got your documents all in place? Like all of us, we need to all have our estate documents, something like that. And nudge around a little bit, see what's there. But you don't have to take that on right now. You're in really good shape. So you have $6,000 a month of expenses. You have 120 grand a year in income. You're going to have money coming in rent wise that is going to be just fine. You're living within your means, even though you have this big house. Don't freak. Do not freak. You're going to get back in touch with us in 1 year.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to let you go. And Mark, any parting words for Rachel?
No, I just, I can hear it in her voice. I just want her to relax and just realize that she's doing great.
You're doing great. So if you're like Rachel and you're a stress bucket, you're in your 30s, and maybe you don't live in $1 million house. Maybe you just rent and you're feeling stressed, and you're stressed about your family, and you're stressed about your life, and you're stressed about things that are happening because that's in your DNA. Why don't you unburden yourself by getting in touch with us? Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. When you do that, a form will pop up, and that is the email that we receive. If you would like to join us live, all you need to do is check the box, and Mark will do everything else. You can also find a lot of free resources. We've got 2 podcasts. We've got a blog. We've got a video section. And if you miss any part of this show, all you have to do is click the radio tab. You are listening to the Jill on Money Show. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger takes the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, the show that's trying to take the mystery out of your financial life. Here is an email from Veronica. I'm a relatively new listener, and I've binged most of the episodes. Oh, I love that. The question is, how do I choose between a 403B and a 457 plan? And how do I know which investment provider to use? She says, I currently participate in 401k. I use a target date fund. Can I, and should I roll the money over from Lincoln Financial? I'm late to the game at 40 years old with only $75,000 invested. Thank you for taking the time to read my email. Mark, you're the best. I went back and listened to older episodes, and it was so weird not hearing your input. I prefer the newer format that includes your advice and input much more than those early years. I'm not quite sure I'm ready to take the shot at being on the program live, so it's a big transition. Once I settle into my new position, I'm going to definitely reach out to you. Mark, get yourself on the microphone. Let's talk. First of all, thank Veronica for her nice words about you.
Yeah, Veronica's my favorite listener right now. She's got to come on.
Yeah, she got to come on. She'll change her name. So, Mark, how do you think about the 403B versus the 457? You can use both, actually, and put a ton of money away.
Yeah, if your cash flow allows you to do that, you can max out both. I'm not sure what the situation is here. I would probably opt for the 403B. I'm guessing that one probably has a Roth option.
Yes, that's exactly right. So one of the things that I would look at, Veronica, is I know you say you've got a lot of options. Lincoln Financial, your old provider, not a great provider. It's an insurance company. It's probably stuck in some very expensive types of funds inside of that. So ideally what you would do is in the 403B, you would choose what option gives you access to index funds or a target date fund, either one. But if you have a plan that offers, I'm going to rattle off some names for you, like a Fidelity or a Vanguard or a T. Rowe Price. If you have one of those, that's kind of where we're going to steer you towards and away from the insurance companies. This is not a slam at any future advertiser who would like to come and support this show, although some insurance companies have reached out to us and they then say, you don't like us very much. It's not that I don't like insurance companies. I love insurance companies when they sell straight up insurance that's uncomplicated. What I don't love about many insurance companies and their products is they can be expensive. So what I think would be helpful would be to take whatever you have currently. You can use a target date fund for 75 grand. It's okay. Roll it into the 403B. That will be your pre-tax. But Mark is right. If you have an opportunity to use a Roth to start this new job, that's what we would suggest. So Veronica, get back in touch with us. Mark's your favorite. Is your favorite? I get that. No hard feelings. He's my favorite too. All right. Next up, Daisy. Here's what she says. Hi, Jill and Mark. I'm a new listener. Mark, I love all these new listeners. My husband and I are both 55. We've saved $1.5 million pre-tax in a 403B. Okay, there you go. I think we earn too much for Roth contributions at $300,000 a year. My husband will be entitled to a small pension of $500 a month. I will be entitled to $7,000 a month in pension payments after both of us are at age 63. 8 short years. Okay, they're going to have employer-sponsored health insurance for life. So here's the issue. Daisy says, we are house poor. We've got a $450,000 mortgage with a 2.75% interest rate. There's 24 years left. Our home is worth about $1.8 million. Okay, so she says, we have reduced our 403B contribution to the minimum to obtain the match of 6% while we cash flow college expenses for our oldest son and 4 years for our youngest son, blah, 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 blah. Okay, she says, I'm thinking that we would continue putting in 6%, even beyond the college years, just to increase our cash on hand instead of putting more money in the 403B, especially considering those mandatory distributions later. Is this a good plan? Keep the house payment with the low interest rate and manage the mandatory distributions. Thank you, Daisy. Daisy, I think this is a great idea. Absolutely. And I would build up that money. And you're gonna have a few years here where you've got the kids and paying for college. That's a real deal, right? But I definitely think having more money that builds up outside of this and also to allow you to breathe a little bit, that I can get on board with. What I would also suggest to you is that if you have the ability, once the kids are done, maybe you're making a little more money, maybe you consider a Roth. Maybe that's another way to put some money to work. But it seems like you're on the right track. This next question is from Lenora, who says, I have a large credit card debt and has an offer for an equity loan that would not impact her current mortgage, $50,000. Question. Does it make sense for me to pay off my credit cards, which charge, you ready for this, Mark, 39 to 35%, if I can get a lower interest rate on the equity loan? Yeah, of course, but I'd want to know other things that are going on. How did this credit card amass? I really would like to know that. But without any further information, yes, I think it is always better to take on the debt that has a lower, and hopefully even if it's a variable rate, it would be a lower rate than what you're paying, and then you can really start focusing on paying that down over time. I do really have but I have a concern that we don't want to start some big bad spiral into getting into debt again. So get back in touch with us so we can understand what else is going on. If you've got a question, something going on, just get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show. We are here trying to help you get a good handle on whatever's going on in your financial life. If you want even more of Jill on Money, we have a whole website. You can sign up for the free weekly newsletter. And by doing so, you'll also get the blog post that I do once or twice a week. You can also check out our subscription service. It's called Jill on Money Live. That is where you have access to quarterly live webinars, the entire back catalog of those webinars, and also bonus audio and video content. Jill on Money Live is another subscription service, but this one's not very expensive. It's $45 for the next 12 months, and we have heard from folks who participate that it is well worth that. So I hope you check that out. You can also subscribe to our podcasts. We have two of them. One is called Jill on Money, Monday through Friday. The other one is called Money Watch. It's on Saturdays and Sundays. You can subscribe to those podcasts on our website, on the Odyssey app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, before we finish up the hour, this is an email from Lynn who writes, I have an inherited IRA from my father who passed away in 2023 at age 90. We took the required minimum distribution in 2023 as he had not taken it before 2023 ended. I know all the money must be out of this account by 2033. Do I have to take an RMD every year, or can I wait and take larger amounts when I retire in 2028? The IRA has about $80,000 in it right now. I don't need the money. I'm just going to put it in my brokerage account if I do have to take it on an annual basis. Lynn, let me start by saying I'm sorry for the loss of your father. There is some good news in the answer to this question in that the required minimum distribution just had to be done for that 1 year that he hadn't done it. But your requirement of having all the money come out over the 10-year period, it does not have to happen every single year. So you absolutely can wait until you retire and your tax bracket goes down. That's actually a really smart planning idea. If you have a question about beneficiary IRAs or any estate planning question, you know I love that one. That is in my wheelhouse. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and write us a note. You're listening to the Jill on Money Show.
It's the weekend, and that can only mean one thing. You're listening to Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's hour number 2 of the Jill on Money Show, and we are here answering your financial questions. If you've got one, just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and write us a note. Don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter when you're on the website. That will also get you any blog posts that I write during the week. I usually do at least one, maybe sometimes 2, depending on what's going on. Right now, let's talk to Erica, who joins us from Minnesota. Hello, Erica. What can we do for you today?
Hi, Jill. Thanks for taking my call. Hi, Mark. I've been working, doing the grind for a long time, over 30 years. And this past year has been the most challenging year. And I've had no flexibility, lost my balance in family, work, life, personal time. And I'm really tired.
I hear you, man. I'm with you, sister. Oh, my gosh. You know, when you go through that period of time, I think in a long career, we all go through those periods, right? Like, oh, this is going to be a bad stretch, right? It does seem harder as you get older to absorb those stretches, or maybe those stretches are getting longer, you know? And so I get that. Erica, how old are you?
I'm 51.
And you said you're married?
I'm divorced.
Okay. Kids?
3.
3. How old are they?
32, 30, and then a 14-year-old still at home with me.
Something interesting happened. I won't go into it on this program. 30 and 32 are on their own, doing okay?
They are. They're both married and thriving.
Okay, great. So the 14-year-old is home with you. Obviously, if you had a 30 and a 32-year-old, you know the drill here. So are you thinking about college for the 14-year-old?
Yes.
Money saved already for that one?
Yes, I have about 39,000 for the 14-year-old.
And is that in a 529 plan or somewhere else?
It's in my state's 529.
Okay, great. So you've been working a long time. You're fried. How much are you earning right now?
Well, it's 105,000 a year, and with an 1,800 stipend for longevity.
What does that mean, a stipend? What does that mean?
It means that I'm in education, so I have my steps and lanes, and then once I hit 25 years or more, then that's considered longevity in the district, and I get a small stipend that is paid out monthly.
And that's just plain old taxable income, right?
Correct.
Okay, so 1,800 a month stipend, 105 a year. Are you making retirement contributions on only the 105 or also the stipend?
Only the 105.
Okay. So how much do you put aside?
I have a pension, and so the pension is,
Hello. Do you see how I went? Ooh, okay, good.
it's 7.5% towards the pension, and then my district matches it. And I have a 403B, that's $1,800 a year, and I match that.
And how much is in the 403B right now?
The 403B, well, I have them lumped here in my writing here.
Okay.
542 total and 125,000 in a Roth IRA, and then the rest is in the 403B.
Got it. What is your actual desire here? What is it that we can help you with? What is the question we're trying to answer?
I am so fried. I cannot retire with full health benefits until 62. And I have just been exploring, can I have a reduction in my work? Can I go half-time? Can I really retire if I want to at 55 if I'm so tired? I need just a few more years to have 30 years total to go towards the pension benefits so I can retire at 62. So really, I'd like to have optionality so that I can find that balance and peace.
It's so hard. So to get optionality, you at age 51, you do have to grind out 4 more years. Is that the deal?
So our district has the pension has this really nice deal where I can retire at age 62 as long as I have 30 years of service. But I like to have the option to retire before 62 if I wish, or go half-time.
Okay, but when do you get to 30 years of service, I guess is what I'm asking.
In 3 years.
In 3 years. Okay, so we have 3 more years. How much money do you need to live on?
It's $5,000 a month. That's with my mortgage. But at age 62, I would be done with my mortgage.
You work for 3 more years. Okay, just full-time work, okay? And if that were the case, you work for 3 more years, now you're 54 years old. You've got your 30 years of service. You wait to actually claim your pension at age 62. Do you know what that amount would be at age 62?
Yes, it would be $5,600 a month.
So we know that you have some money that, you got this $500,000 that's already saved up in some way, shape, or form. You'll be able to live on it or maybe work a little bit of magic in terms of your maybe doing halftime or what have you. But that seems to be like very doable, right? If you were to go halftime, if that were a possibility, and you say, all right, at age 51, will the halftime work count towards the pension for that maximizing those 30 years?
Yes, it would.
Okay. So if you were to work halftime and instead of 105,000, you would have 50,000, or let's call it 52,000, right? Plus the 21,000 from the stipend, right? You would still get the stipend?
Yes, 1,800.
Right, 1,800 a month though, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that's 21 grand. Let's say that you made with the stipend about $70,000, okay? And you just put in whatever the minimum is to the pension, nothing else, no other saving. Then you could essentially live on what you earn without doing any more saving. How would you feel about that? There would be no extra saving for the 529 plan. There would be no, like, that's it. You're just going to do your pension amount. That's that. No extra saving. Can you let yourself do that? Because I think it works if you did that. It's just a question of whether they'll allow it on the at the system level and whether you can deal with the fact that you wouldn't be putting away more money.
That would be something that I would be willing to do it if I can. If it doesn't jeopardize my savings for the 529, which is a priority of mine, and I can still just float.
Yeah. You can actually live instead of just work, right? You can now be like, okay, I can do this. Have you talked to them about going half-time or not?
I haven't. This is why I'm calling, is because I'm looking into this before I approach them, and just broaching them with the possibility if I am going to be asking them. I like to know that I'm okay on my end.
How much money are you putting into the 529 right now?
It's $300 a month.
We'll get back to Erica in just a minute. But if you have questions about your job, should you quit, should you stay, something going on, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note. And if you want to join us live, just check the box. Mark will do everything else. You're listening to Jill on Money. We'll be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. Let's get back to Erica from Minnesota. Do you have money saved in the bank, just like a boring bank account kind of thing?
Yeah, I usually keep about $5,000 to $6,000 in a checking account, and then I have a $5,000 in an HYSA high-yield savings account, and then about 50 grand in brokerage.
And how did you get that 50 grand in the brokerage? Just because you're making this money and you're throwing money in there? Is that how it's going for you?
Yeah, just squirreling it away.
Okay. So, and you have a job now. So, like, here's what I think. I think there's two options that look smart to me as a possibility. First of all, have you been at the same place for a long time?
Yes, there has been some transitions. So the job that I was at last year that just burned me out was also in the same field, but in a leadership position, and much higher salary. And so this one is a tremendous reduction in salary. When I'm going back to this position, I've transitioned out of this other position into this one, where the salary is going to be significantly lower.
And is the $105,000 the lower salary or the higher salary?
That is the lower salary.
Okay. I mean, is it fair to say that you may actually be able to be okay in that place at that $105,000 level? Or do you think it's like last year was so bad in that leadership role that even at this $105,000 a year level, you're just still so fried?
Well, I'm fried. I was fried in this position, and that is the reason I went to this other position.
Oh, you went from the frying pan to the fire. Get it? Frying, fried. Okay. All right. Here's what I'm thinking. Mark, you can weigh in here. I think that there are sort of the generalized options that I see are the following. You go in and you say to them, that leadership thing almost killed me. I got a 14-year-old at home. I got to take care of this kid. And I got to take care of myself. What I'm seeking from you, district or, employer, is the options that you see in front of me. Here's what I think. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to say to them, like, don't go in saying, like, I would quit tomorrow if I could because you suck. Like, no, don't do that. But what you could do is say, you've been good to me. It's been a long run. And what I really would like to do is figure out how we can kind of give me an off-ramp, but I want to be responsible to you, the organization, right? So I think what you can say is, I'm thinking that if I were to go half-time or whatever, 3/5 time, and I were to do that, I think I could last here a much longer time. You don't have to lock yourself in. You're not signing a contract. You could just say, I think I could last longer, which is probably true, by the way. All right. So like, if you think about it, chances are that your kid is young. So we have to get this kid through college. So 14 years old. So, like in 10 years, the kid's basically done, or 12, really 8 years. But you can say to them, I really believe that I could last longer if I could reduce my time. In that world, if I were to go 3/5 or half time, what would that do to my pension? How would that affect my years of service and the pension amount? And I'm just wondering, so I could look at it and really think about it. And then alternatively, what would happen if I worked for, 3 or 4 more years, let's say 3, and then, be very clear about like what the dollar amounts are. And then you should get back in touch with us. I think for you, it is important to feel like you have agency right now because you sound beaten down. Even if you had a reduced pension, even if that retirement, that $5,600 a month were a smaller amount, let's say that by doing the halftime thing, that the amount would drop down to $4,000 a month, not $5,600. So what? So what? You will be entitled to Social Security. Okay. You do have money saved, and you should be fine. I don't think that that's an issue. I think the issue is really, I would prefer that you just stop putting money into the 529, stop putting money into retirement beyond your pension, and sit still a little bit and don't put the pressure on yourself. Really, it's just not that, it's not worth it right now. We have to settle you in. We have to get you kind of stabilized emotionally, financially. And let's see, is your kid going to be the kind of kid who's going to go to a private school or a public school, you think?
I think she would definitely go to a public school. We have a really good university here, and she would be following in her middle sister's footsteps.
Great. Do you have an ex that will help you with education, or are you on your own for this?
He's doing child support, but I think when she turns 18, he's more than happy to just back off.
Yeah, funny how that is. I never heard, Mark, would you like to defend your sex here? I never heard of a woman say, you know what, I'm just going to back off on my support of my child. I've heard that from men before. I've never heard that from a woman. Just saying. Mark, do you want to speak up for the men of the world or not?
I would never, ever think of doing such a thing.
I know, but it is true. We have heard that before. Mark, what do you think about our idea for Erica to get her sanity back?
Yeah, I think the conversations have to be had because, just based on the tone that I'm hearing, she's not making it until 62.
No, it's not going to be. You're not grinding out 51 to age 62. That's not happening. So the real question is what is the option? The option has to be that when you talk to them, that you're really upfront. No, not say, I can't bear it, this sucks and I hate you, but really about this is how I feel. I want to honor my tenure here. I want to do that. But I do not see a world in which I'm going to be able to do exactly what I'm doing until age 62. They know that last year was tough on you because you've already moved back to this other position, right?
Well, it's a separate school district. So it's a little complicated, but it would just be me. And the leadership position that I took on last year was with a different school district. So this is a return to my old employer.
All right. So you can even say to them, I'm so happy to be back here. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And then try to say, I just need to understand what my options are. I don't think they'll begrudge you that. Do you sense that they would begrudge you that?
I don't know. And this has not been done, not by anybody else that I know of. But I'm willing to give it a try. Mike, I have a question for you, Joe.
Sure.
You suggested just backing off on contributions and just letting the pension just kind of grow and do its thing. But The rest of it, the $1,800 of the 403B, if I contribute that amount, the district matches it. Should I back off on that too?
I just feel like if you can get the match, you should take the match. But I just want you to have a tiny bit of anything beyond the match I would not do.
Okay. And the small amount, and I only say small, and I'm grateful for what I have. Over the years, I have shared the small amounts that I could make with children and with family.
No.
Extended family.
You're done. You got to back off on that right now. So that's going to be Aunt Jill giving you a little bit of tough love on that. That you can't do. If you want to preserve optionality, it's time for Erica to put Erica first. And I know that that sounds very crass, but I am hearing in your voice real exhaustion. And I pay attention to that. I work with a lot of people like you, Erica. I know what that sounds like. I've heard from people on this program. Mark and I heard this so much during the pandemic. We would hear from healthcare workers, from educators. They were fried. That was it. They were absolutely fried. And we really listened to those voices. And I think that if you want to know like what the options are, then you have to create a lot of those options for yourself. And that is the old put the oxygen mask on your face first. Come back to us. Let us know how it goes, and we'll craft a plan. We'll look at different options for you. But right now, the whole sharing of the wealth, you've done a great job. You've socked away a lot of money, but it is time to put yourself first. Can you do that?
I'll give it a good crack, really.
You should, because it's, you got to stick around here, girl. You got to be there for the 14-year-old. Everyone else is going to fall in line. You already said the 30 and the 32-year-old are in good shape. And so you've done your job. You got to be there fully for this kid. You got to be there fully for yourself. Okay?
Okay.
You're listening to the Jill on Money Show. We'll be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show. We're trying to help you get wherever you want to go with a few different options. If you need some guidance, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Let's talk to Deborah from Maine. So, Deborah, first of all, thank you for joining us. What is on your mind today? What can we do for you?
Well, thank you for having me on the show. I've been listening to your show for approximately maybe about a year. And, the big burning question of retirement is always on my mind, especially since I'm past that expiration date.
What do you mean the past? You sound like young and spry. Come on now.
Well, right now I'm 71. I still work. So I'm working part-time now. I dropped down my hours. Let's see, about a little bit more than a year ago when I turned 70 and then I started my Social Security. Then I went down to 24 hours a week from 36.
How much do you earn in your part-time 24 hours a week?
Well, since this is really going to be about the first year that it's all part-time, I'm estimating that it'll be about $72,000.
Wow, that's a lot.
Well, I work as a nurse. I used to work 3 shifts a week, 3 12s. Now I'm 2 12s. Before that, it would be over 100,000.
Wow.
But by knocking it down, it's still, a fair amount.
Yeah.
And then with my Social Security, I might actually make more than when I was full time. But
how much is your Social Security that you waited till age 70 to claim?
4,100 gross, and I have some tax held from it, so I have 3,800 net. And then I'm still contributing 30% of my pay to my 403B.
Oh my gosh, how much money's in the 403B?
Well, this is the burning question. Since I had also gone through a divorce at age 65, which is not prime time to do.
Oh, I have a lot of questions about that, but we'll get back to that in a second.
The 403B is right now $350,000.
Because you had to have it, because you had to give the bad person who we hate half of your money?
Nope, I only a smaller amount of that I fought for, yeah.
Did you see how I took your side immediately? I want to tell you that there is a greeting card that my sister found. We had a friend who got divorced, and my sister found this greeting card, and in the front it says, there are 2 sides to a divorce. And you open it up and it says, yours and the a-holes. So that's where we're rolling. We're on Team Deborah right now. So $350,000 in the 403B is all traditional. It has not been taxed yet, right?
That's correct.
Okay. What else have you done in terms of saving?
Well, I also have checking right now is $46,000, and in a high yield savings is $126,000.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
And you own your home?
I did buy a condo as soon as I was divorced. I was lucky because it was 2019. So I have a condo that is currently valued around, I'd say the last ones that sold in my association, $425,000. I've got a 2.8% mortgage.
Oh my God. What's the outstanding mortgage amount?
And $180,000.
So affordable, obviously.
Very much so. Very much so. My monthly mortgage, along with and the escrow for insurance and property taxes, $1,100 a month.
And what about the association fees?
$400 a month.
Oh, all right. That's not bad.
Yeah, cheaper than rent right now in Portland.
Incredible. And so do you feel like this is a place you can stay, right, for a while?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Great. So, Deborah, you like being a nurse enough that you're still doing 2 shifts. How long do you think, do you have any aspirations for like a timeline where you say, okay, well, I'll do this 2 shifts and then maybe I would do 1 shift? Like, do you have a game plan?
Well, I think part of it too is I have a hard time wrapping my head around the idea of not working. I've been working pretty much all my life, and the idea of not working and spending savings is kind of foreign to me. But
yep.
But I know that's how it works, and that's that would be the goal. But I think I would kind of like to retire, and then I would be doing some volunteer work, and then also do some, things that I enjoy doing, possibly just working per diem. And I could do like 1 day a week if I wanted to, or
if I looked at your expenses right now, okay, we did the condo and the fees, that's $1,500 a month. What else do you spend money on? Like when you look at all of your spending, your food and your entertainment and your utilities, is that another couple $1,000s a month? What do you think that is?
Yeah. I'm not a spendthrift. I do enjoy doing, I get together with friends. We go to dinners. I do some traveling, but when I travel, I always travel very economically, which I prefer anyway, and whether that's in Europe or locally, but it's not frequent, but maybe once per year. But because I use my credit card for all my expenses and then I have everything else on auto payment, it's very easy to track my expenses. And I do pay that credit card at the end of every week. So there's never a balance on it, but I collect the points for travel.
Yeah, you're good. So do you think that it's fair to say that your total monthly nut is $3,600 a month?
Actually, it is pretty close to that. I would say it's somewhere between there to 4,000.
Okay, perfect.
But sometimes I've been way under that too.
Okay. But what's interesting about that is essentially you're telling me that the net Social Security, that $4,100 a month gross, which is $3,800 a month net, that essentially your Social Security mostly covers your nut.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yes.
Is there something related to a pension as well?
Well, yes, that's the other part of it too. So I do have a pension.
Ooh.
And when I can take it 2 ways. I could take it as an annuity for life, or I could do a lump sum, which is what I am tending to lean to. The lump sum was about $351,000. And if I were to take it as a monthly payment, it would be about $2,871 per month.
Do you have children? I forgot to ask you that. Adult children?
All grown up, very successfully launched.
We'll get back to Deborah in just a minute. It's Jill on Money.
Welcome back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger takes the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we are answering your financial questions. If you've got one, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Let's get back to Deborah from Maine. I am also, when you gave me those numbers, lump sum or annuity, I'm leaning lump sum also, because if you were to take an annuity, I mean, I don't think you need that month. Like, your Social Security pretty much does it. I think you're going to want access to that chunk of money along with the $350 you have right now. That's $700,000. That's would be in a traditional account. We have to get that money out eventually, because obviously at age 75, that money is going to need to come out. Maybe you start to do that if you wind down some of your part-time work. You know, maybe at 72 or 73, you say, okay, I'm done. And then you got to start taking some money out of the account just to get it out of there and pay some tax on it. But it won't be terrible. And I wouldn't worry about it, because if you're happy working, okay, this is what I want to tell you. We are talking to people all the time, just like you, Deborah, meaning that there are people out there, and you can add zeros to their net worth. You can take zeros away, but it is still the same critical issue. I have been working for decades, 4 decades, 5 decades. I know how to work. I know how to save. I'm very frugal, you said. And even though you went through an event, which is usually a pretty seismic event for people, not just emotionally, is that divorce can be a financially devastating event also. You are good. Your financial world is excellent. So the question is, how do we get you to give yourself permission to spend some money? And I think there's 2 ways to think about this. You ready?
I am.
One is you could say to me, look, I'm going to take this annuity and I'll make sure that, like, my kids are the beneficiary, so that if I were to die on the second day that I got that annuity, that someone would get that money, that they could get the money out. Okay. Or you could just say, I'm going to take the lump sum, and you pop it in with your traditional money. And now you've got about $700,000 in traditional money. And then what you might do is set up a system so that maybe this is in an IRA rollover account. Maybe it just stays in your 403B, and we'll see. You set up a system where money comes out maybe every quarter, maybe even every month, so that you're used to having money come to you. That is money that you can say, oh, it's like I'm getting a pension payment. I can spend this. You can now set up a system where whatever's coming out to you is money that you know you can spend and have a good time with, because it is only because of those 5 decades of work that you are able to do this, that you are able to actually spend the money. The way that you frame the question of how not to work, this is also about how to give myself permission to spend. And you have the money to do this. And I think that not working is an option for you. But if you really like it and you say, you know what, I could do 1 shift a week for a long time, or I can do a few days a month because it's per diem, and I feel good about that. And that feels like a connection to a profession that I love, that's given me these great benefits and these great opportunities. You should do that. You have to set up a system so the money is flowing into you, into that high yield savings account. And you say, whatever's in there, I get to spend. Or you say, I'm taking 25 grand a year, and you decide, okay, I'm going to spend, that's my vacation budget. I get to do 1 big vacation a year, and you spend it, but you got to give yourself permission to do it.
Okay. So overall, if I felt like retiring at the end of this year, you think I would be okay to do so?
Okay. Come on, Deborah. Let me just say something. If you had, what kind of nursing do you do?
Oh, gosh, I've done so much over the years. Right now, I'm in a medical surgical area.
Okay, here we go.
Heavy.
So it's a little heavy duty, right? So here's your surgical patient who has had this, had some procedure, not because of bad health or anything, just unlucky, right?
Yeah.
And they've been in that hospital, or they've been in this condition, and now they're walking and they're peeing and pooping and life is good and the care at home is all set up. And they say to you, I'm scared about leaving this hospital because the care has been so good. what do you say to that patient?
Get out of here and enjoy your life.
That's exactly right. Go take your own advice, lady. Get out of here and enjoy your life. Now, I also want to be clear that if work is fun for you and you can do it in a way that's manageable for you and it doesn't feel onerous and you feel like it's invigorating, just do this for, like, you're doing this for a year, fine. Maybe next year you go to one shift a week. Then maybe you try a per diem, but you give yourself permission to get out of there and enjoy your life.
Sounds good to me. I guess the biggest thing too is where the economy has just been so topsy-turvy right now,
but pretty good for you, I got to be honest. Because if I look at, like, if someone like you, it's like, hey, I have money that's invested in the market because of 403B, and the money is there for you. You're in a profession where there's people that you're always needed. Like, honestly, I'd rather be a nurse today than a doctor. Like, it seems to me that we are in great need of nursing. And so you can do whatever you want to do. And even if the economy is topsy-turvy, you've got your Social Security, you don't spend a lot of money, and you've saved a lot of money. So you've got this beautiful combination. You've got this beautiful combination of facts that allows you to get out of here and enjoy your life. You're listening to the Jill on Money Show, the program that takes the mystery out of your financial life. You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show. We are here providing some financial guardrails to whatever is in front of you. That's our job. We want to make sure you don't kind of go careening into a ditch, but we also want to make sure you get where you want to go with a lot of different options. If you've got a question, go to jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and write us a note. Before we conclude the program, let's take one last email from Anonymous, who asks, what is your perspective on index annuities that compound with death benefit riders and or the ability to borrow against the policy without impacting the base? What's the risk? What are the opportunities? Okay, Anonymous, so let's talk about what an index annuity is. It is a product offered through an insurance company, and money that you put in is money that gets deferred throughout your life. If you die with that policy, someone will be named a beneficiary. But if you take money out of it before you die, there will be tax due. However, as you say, you can borrow against it without actually creating a tax event. So these products always sound so great when someone is selling them to you. But what I want to emphasize is that so many insurance products are so complicated, and they are actually filled with fees that are difficult to identify. So here's the question that we need to answer, Anonymous. What is the problem that we are trying to solve? How are we trying to use this particular insurance company product? If you would like to come on the air and work this through, or just send us a follow-up email, we can talk about it. But in my experience, a lot of these annuities, they are oversold. They are not actually explained for the downside risk, that you are actually tying up this money that you wish you had access to. That limits your liquidity as you get older. But maybe you've got a low-cost option, and that can work for you. So follow up with us and get us that information, and we can see if this could work for you. Well, that is it. That is the program. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Delarcio is our executive producer and the king of all things web. We always ask that you do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.